The swan glided gracefully across the lake. Why was Gracie so sad today? The elegant black bird could see her own grief mirrored in the little girl's slumped shoulders and tear-stained eyes, and her heart ached for her. "Oh, hello, Mrs. Swan," Gracie said, when she finally noticed how close Signet had come. "I'm sorry I'm not very good company today. I'm too upset." The little girl sighed, tears trembling on her lashes, then forced a brief smile. "I did bring you some peas, though. How are you going?" Gently dropping the veggies in the shallows, Gracie gazed around the lake, then gasped in horror. "Has your husband not come back yet?" Signet's head dropped, misery shuddering through her, and Gracie reached out a hand to pat her. "I'm so sorry. And oh, have your babies gone too?" The swan emitted a mournful cry, and her friend frowned. "It's not fair that you're alone as well. You're probably the only one who understands how I feel, because you've lost your family too." The little girl's pain was so visceral that Signet felt the deep rumbling of it within her own body. It swirled through her, amplifying her sorrow and unlocking a hidden well of empathy that was particularly unswan-like. She wished she could step out of the water and enfold the girl in a hug. Desperately, she tried to think of a way to comfort her friend, but what could a swan do to help a human? The honk of an ibis sounded across the lake, and Signet whipped her head around to stare at it. She remembered a story she'd heard from one of the grizzled white birds, of a pelican transforming into a man to save a little boy's life. If she could turn into a human, even for a day, she would treat Gracie so much better than everyone else in her life did. "I'm sorry, Mrs. Swan. I shouldn't be complaining to you, because you have your own troubles." Gracie smiled bravely and wiped at her eyes, but a single tear ran down her cheek and dropped into the water. Signet stared at the ripples radiating outward from it. It couldn't really be true, could it, that drinking a human tear would transform a bird into a person? Amused at her gullibility, the swan bent her long neck towards the surface, dipped her beak in, and swallowed the tear before it sank to the bottom of the lake. Then she waited.